Luis had paid 17 million credits for Solitude. The planetary deed listed Kepler 442 as uninhabited, categorized as barren with minimal atmospheric processing required. Perfect. No neighbors, no governments, no expectations. Just him, his prefab habitat, and 3,000 acres of purple-tinted wilderness. The first 3 months passed exactly as he'd hoped. He cultivated a small garden using earth seeds, watched binary sunsets from his porch, and finally finished reading the classics he'd always promised himself he'd get to. At night, the silence was absolute, a luxury no space station or colony world could offer. Then came the eyes in the darkness. Luis first noticed them on day 94. Golden, reflective, watching from the tree line. He assumed some native fauna, cataloged the sighting in his log, and went back inside. The planetary survey had mentioned small mammalian analogs. Nothing dangerous. By day 96, there were more eyes. Dozens of them, forming a careful perimeter around his habitat. They never approached during daylight, but every evening there they were. On day 98, Luis woke to find tracks. Bipedal. Humanoid. Leading right up to his windows. His blood ran cold. The survey had been wrong, or worse, deliberately falsified. That evening, he activated his habitat's external speakers. "I know you're out there," he called in Standard Galactic. "I mean no harm. This is a misunderstanding." The eyes blinked in the darkness, then movement. A figure emerged from the shadows, stepping into the light of his exterior lamps. She was tall, powerfully built, with skin that shimmered like oil on water, deep purples and blues shifting across her surface. Her features were sharp, predatory, with those same golden eyes that had been watching him. She wore leather-like armor crafted from local materials and carried a spear that looked wickedly efficient. "You speak?" she said, her voice rough from disuse. The translator implant in Luis's ear rendered her words in English. "Yes, I'm human. Luis Correa y I purchased this planet. I was told it was empty." The huntress tilted her head, processing this. Then, over her shoulder, she called out in her native tongue. More figures emerged. 10, 20, 30? Luis stopped counting. All female, all armed, all looking at him with an intensity that made his survival instincts scream. "Empty," the first huntress repeated. She stepped closer to the reinforced window. "Your kind thought us extinct. The plague took our males 2 generations ago. We are Krishna. We are dying." Luis's mind raced. A plague that targeted one sex? Biologically unlikely unless engineered, but he wasn't here to solve mysteries. He was here to be alone. "I'm sorry for your loss," he said carefully, "but I can't help you. I'm just one person who wants to live in peace." The huntress, he'd need to learn her name if this continued, laughed bitterly. "Peace. We have not seen a male of any species in 7 seasons. Our youngest warriors have never seen one. You are hope. You are future." "I'm human," Luis protested. "We're not compatible. Biology doesn't work that way." "We know," she said softly, "but you are male. You exist. That alone changes everything." Over the following days, Luis learned the truth. The Krishna had been a thriving civilization until a bioweapon, deployed during a civil war, selectively killed every male on the planet. The females survived, long-lived by nature, but without the ability to reproduce. They'd hunted, survived, and slowly watched their species circle the drain of extinction. The galaxy had written them off. Their planet was listed as pending ecological recovery. Bureaucratic speak for everyone's dead, we'll sell it later. Eva was the huntress's name. She was their war leader, the one who'd kept 300 survivors alive through discipline and hope. She brought Luis gifts, food, crafted items, even a primitive painting showing Krishna males from memory. "We don't want to trap you," Eva said on their 5th meeting. Luis had finally agreed to step outside, though his hand never left his sidearm. "But you must understand. You are the first. The scouts, the traders, the survey teams, they all stay in orbit. They never land. We thought the galaxy had forgotten us entirely." "I'm not a solution," Luis said. "I can't bring your species back." "No," Eva agreed. "But you can call for help. You have communication equipment. You can tell them we're alive." Luis stared at her. It was so simple, so obvious. He'd been so focused on being left alone that he hadn't considered what his isolation looked like from the outside. That night, he composed a message. Not to the bureaucrats who'd sold him the planet, but to the Intersystem Biology Council, the Refugee Relocation Network, and 3 major news organizations. He included DNA scans, population estimates, and Eva's testimony. The response was immediate and overwhelming. Within a week, ships were en route. Medical teams, geneticists, diplomacy corps. The galaxy hadn't forgotten the Krishna. They'd just been looking in the wrong place. Eva visited him one final time before the ships arrived. "You could have stayed silent," she said. "Kept your peace." Louis smiled tiredly. "Turns out I'm not as antisocial as I thought. Besides," he gestured at the approaching dawn where Krishna hunters were already preparing a welcome for their unexpected saviors. "Humanity's good at one thing, being stubbornly helpful when we're least expected." "HFY?" Eva asked, the translator struggling with the acronym. "Something like that," Louis said. "Welcome back to the galaxy, and